What's up, clan? It's your boy King Cryptic, and we're back with another What If video. So, just in case you are curious, I will be, in some gaming videos. But, just at first I'm gonna start off with what ifs, because that's kind of my thing, and I've been wanting to do it, poke fun at it. Yeah. And so, we're gonna, after this, the what ifs, the what if Deku have time skip what ifs are gonna slow a little bit, because I'm gonna do other things. But after every time we get every time we start another what if, I'm always gonna leave it at the Nomu arc, or the not the Nomu arc, but the USJ arc, just so and then it's gonna slow down from there. And I say way too much or something wrong. So yeah, comment on what games you want me to play, or anyone else in the clan. Well, any of the other captains, And let's just get back in there. So we're not gonna be starting off when Deku RKO took down Bakugo. Yeah, we're gonna be starting off, on another day in class. See, everyone remembers that from their first day, so everyone in the class already knows Deku is strong from the tests and how he instantly took out Bakugo. Nobody even knew what he did. He didn't even decide to hit him in his pressure points. He just mollywopped him. So yeah, I'm gonna say, one day they're just in class, and it's always class, and then All Might busts through the door in his hero costume, in his old hero costume from his prime, and he says, "I'm here," as your teacher, or whatever he said. Don't really remember, even though I literally was just looking at it to make sure before I did this video. But yeah, everyone is just astonished, and they're amazed at his costume, and then just the fact that All Might is there. Deku is still cool, calm, and collected, and plus he already knew that All Might was gonna be at the school from the hologram, and he was talking to him. He knows All Might, but he doesn't really show it, because he doesn't really show anything. So yeah, and they're gonna go to the room where they're gonna look at all of the matches for the hero versus villains. And so while they're there, All Might explains that they're gonna do a 2v2 hero versus villain simulation between the classmates. And Bakugo is pumped up because he wants to get back at Midoriya. Well, I'm stupid. Why did I say Midoriya? I never say Midoriya. That's it. You know what? Scratch that. I'm about to flex. So I'm gonna say that everyone thinks that they're all complaining because they just flat out know that Deku really, with his blinding speed, could just instantly take out a team. This is a team of two, so they don't even think it's fair, and whoever gets paired up with him just automatically loses, even though it's random. And so then All Might is thinking, what if it's the whole entire class was villains, and then it was Deku as a hero who would touch the bomb and pass or try to, and it'd just be everyone versus Deku, and then everyone just their whole entire mood changes, and they're like, would that even be fair? Because just everybody thinks they're gonna win. Deku doesn't really change an expression. Well, no, Deku smiles a little bit because he feels like this is a chance to test his power against multiple opponents, because he's never really had to deal with that situation. And so he doesn't really complain, and he's just ready. So I'm gonna say, yeah, they go down to the artificial building. I think it was test field gamma or something, or field gamma. Yeah, and so they're there, and Deku's just at the bottom, and Deku's just waiting with his eyes closed and his hands in his pockets. I forgot to say, yeah, everyone got into their hero costumes, and I'm gonna say Deku's hero costume is just like his. Exactly, the things and everything. People were looking at his hero costume, but nobody's really said anything except for Uraraka. Because they're she's like the only person with that connection to him. She was thinking that it was pretty cool, and she was wondering what it was made of, because it doesn't really look like cloth per se. And she was captivated by the purple and just the overall outfit. And so yeah, and then we're gonna go back to Deku just waiting for All Might to just 3, 2, 1 go or whatever. Actually, I don't even know how he started it. Let's just say 3, 2, 1 go. Everyone's already in their spots, and people are like they're just protecting the bomb. And I'm gonna say on the first floor, Deku walks in, and I'm gonna say that there's Kira. They have some of the tougher, a little bit defensive and the front. So they're gonna have Kirishima, the bird guy. They have the sugar rush guy. I'm not gonna remember all of these names because they're kind of side characters to me, even if they're in 1A. Yeah, they have him, and then they have the tail guy, Ojiro, I think his name was. I'm gonna also say that Mineta was down there in the towards the front, because he thought that, and well, he's behind most of the people, but he thought maybe he could do something since there are that many people. Nobody really thinks Deku is that strong, but little do they know. So Deku is just walking, right? I'm gonna say not Kirishima. I'm gonna say Ojiro jumps first with his tail and tries to attack him, and I'm gonna say Deku just dodges it easily, just effortlessly, and he's still just walking past them. And then I'm gonna say Kirishima just hardens up, and then goes for a slash and dodges that too, but he's still not attacking them. Just for the flex. And for them, they don't see him dodging. He's just walking in a straight line. Well, just barely. They feel for them. Feels like they're touching air. They're just missing. And he's just barely dodging it. Well, not barely, but he's just Ultra Instinct. He's he doesn't need to move that much. He's conserving his movements. And mind you, just like in the entrance exam, still has his hands in his pockets, going forwards, and the funny thing is he didn't use time skip yet. He's just dodging, because he's used to reaction, and it's not because of his quirk, it's just because of his training in general. So he's still just walking, and then Mineta just throws a flurry of balls at him. So then Deku decides, I'm gonna say, whenever he uses time skip and he hits all the balls, I'm gonna say they don't stick to him. I'm gonna say he punches all the balls, and he flings them into Mineta, back at Mineta, and some at Ojiro, and now they're stuck on his tail. And I'm gonna say he tried to block it with his tail. That got stuck to him, and then he touched the floor with it. Well, he's out, stuck to the floor. Kirishima just has it on his body, not really doing anything, but it's in the way. And then I'm gonna say Sato. Since Deku, he is flexing, but at the same time, he is getting a little bit cocky. Yes, not on the scale of Bakugo, of course, but he's at that point where he's not really paying attention. So I'm gonna say that Sato, just buffs up, not like All Might, but with his sugar, and he rushes after Deku and for a back attack, because he's the only one that's not stuck. And then to his surprise, Deku uses a time skip backbreaker. He turns around really fast, and then boom, Sato has a purple beam of energy just coming out of his back, and then he's gone. He just flying back forwards, or roll backwards from where he punched, and he's knocked out. Everyone in the room is just surprised, and I'm gonna say people upstairs heard it because he hit a wall. Sato just got cratered into a wall. I'm gonna say people upstairs heard it, so they're thinking it went either one or two ways. Deku absolutely mollywopped everyone, or they manage, to subdue him or knock him out. But you all know what happened. Yeah, so Ojiro's just stuck looking back. Kaminari is just frozen at this man's absolute power. Medetta is just, crying his tears. And I'm going to say he just starts throwing a bunch of balls because Deku's just walking closer to him. And, they're all flinging away. His hair is bleeding, balls flying. Don't know what's going on. And then Deku jump spikes him. Just because he doesn't necessarily like Mineta, he's not putting up with his perverted shit. Even if he's not being perverted, he just doesn't like him because of that. So he jump spikes him. And he's out. He doesn't fly away, he just falls. He keeps walking. Kirishima still isn't moving, and he's the only one who really can move. He's just stuck. Yeah. No, I'm gonna say Deku just walks upstairs to just still. And I'm gonna say on the stairs there was Invisible Girl. Mind you, Deku, he's not stupid, so he saw her. And he was going to, attack her, because this man is, gender equality. He doesn't really, care for that. Yeah, because, he thought it'd be a shame if he ended up not seeing her at all and stuck up on her. I don't really know what she could have done. And then Momos just jumps in front of her with a shield and ends up actually blocking his attack. Because, he wasn't trying to kill her or anything, so he didn't full force punch. But, and then Deku time skips and punches Momo's shield just a bunch of flurry of times and knocks it out of her hands. And, the people on the second floor, I'm gonna say that there's there's 4 floors. And, like I said, he's on the second one. So I'm gonna say the people who are on this floor are Invisible Girl, Momo, Jiro, Kaminari, Mina, and Ioma, the one with the navel laser. Yeah, so I'm gonna say they're all on that floor. Because before this they were all like showing each other their quirks before. And then I'm gonna say like Momo was the strategist for this one. And she was trying to, plan out, like, so if Deku did end up, coming back up, they could, synergize with their quirks and end up, blocking him from getting up. Because this is timed. He does have to do this in a certain amount of time, but his time skip is unbeatable. He has all the time in the world. Because he could just start off spamming it off the bat and really not drain too much stamina. So I'm gonna say after he knocked up the shield, Suyu was like, Momo, I got your back, and with a long tongue, grabbed the shield and flung it at Deku. Deku is, I'm gonna say this time he takes one of his hands out of his pocket and catches the shield and just drops it and just crashes down the stairs. And he did do that on purpose. No more shields. Yeah, and then I'm gonna say Jiro and Kaminari. I'm gonna say Jiro, plugs her earphone jacks into like the speakers and blasts it at Deku. Before that, she tells them to get out the way. And then whenever Deku tries to move, Kaminari does shoot his electricity. Deku's just trying to refrain from using time skip too much, not because it's a strain on him, just so he doesn't get them too quickly. Because yes, he is trying to drag out this match more, or this fight more. There are more people, and he's analyzing all their skills and quirks. Because before this, he didn't really know what quirks they had besides Bakugo, right? And then Deku just hits the spin moves around it. Even though Jiro and Kaminari had a good plan going, like an electric sound trap, that didn't really work on him. Cause he did, they did force him into using time skip to just just dodge that. Just completely gone. Deku in the wind. He be floating, boys. Yeah, so they're confused, like, how did they not hit him? Because then, again, to them, they didn't even see him really move. Well, only just to the side because the spin, yeah. And, you know, Deku does congratulate him and says that they had a nice plan going, but my time skip is unbeatable. You know, they're looking at him weird, but at the same time shocked. I'm gonna say, you know, and then Momo like creates a net, you know, because he has enough time because Jiro and Kaminari snapped out of it, and they were just like spamming him and trying to keep him in one area. So, you know, Momo could make multiple nets and then throw it at him. And, you know, Sui, or Asui, whatever you want to call her, floppy, and then she wrapped her tongue around it. You know, that's gonna hurt her tongue. You know, electrocuted, blasted by sound. But, you know, he's stuck, or at least they so thought. And then Deku is like, you know what? I'm gonna use one of my skills. He does like the time skip ability. Well, he just sits there. He really doesn't move this time, or at least they think. So to them, he just has a purplish outline around him, and everything just goes through him. And they're confused, like, what? Can you make clones or something? Which, yes, you can. But they're still baffled on how he was just sitting there. And then I'm gonna say that out of nowhere, Deku is in front of Asui or Froppy. I'm just gonna call her Froppy from now on, or at least try to. He's in front of Froppy, you know, hits her with the time skip tremor pulse. Like I said, gender equality. He gives out hands and legs, like I said, kickboxing. So yeah, you know, UPS special delivery, straight, you know, just gets a kick straight to the side of the chest and sends her flying. And then he's thinking maybe he overdid it a little bit, but, you know, and then he realizes that he is in Class 1A and not to underestimate them, because if he was a little bit slower, he could have gotten grazed by one of their attacks. Grazed. Yeah, and then Deku goes ahead and goes sicko mode from then on. And I'm gonna say during this time, Invisible Girl took off all of her clothes, so now she's fully invisible. Please don't hurt me. So Deku doesn't notice that. Well, he notices the clothes on the floor because he's looking everywhere, Sharingan style. Yeah. So he notices the clothes, but just doesn't see her, right? And I'm gonna say that Denki, he's stupid now because he used up all of his energy on that last one. And then Jiro tries to hit him with the her ear. She unplugs it and tries to hit her with the ear jack. Him with the ear jacks, and that is just ineffective because I'm gonna say that Deku, you know, got close up, flash skewered, gone, just one tapping everyone, pressure points. Like it doesn't, and then, you know, since Denki is stupid, I'm just gonna say he goes back. He put down the tape. He just left it by the door. Let me say he went back real fast, grabbed it, tied him up. Might as well be the Flash. And, you know, and then not Bakugo, not yet. Wait. And then I'm gonna say that, you know, yeah, Momo goes ahead and throws a spear. She has enough time to create that. Well, like a smaller one. She goes ahead and throws a spear. And then I'm gonna say she says, well, I don't even remember what Invisible Girl's name is. She says, insert name now, while Invisible Girl tries to grab Deku, which does work, you know, for a good amount of time. And I'm gonna say that, you know, the spear, you know, not hits him, but the spear gets close. But then Deku is thinking rapidly, you know, if he goes transparent, it'll hit Invisible Girl. And, you know, if he like put her in front of it, that also hit her. So he says plan C. Invisible Girl isn't strong or anything, so he just sidesteps that with her on his back. You know, from like the way he's grabbing her, he ends up picking her up, throwing her in the air. Yeah, you know what happens. Pressure point. Bop, bop, bop. Because he's, a little bit mad. Hits it 3 times. Gets a 3-piece to the chest. Out. Yeah, this seems repetitive. That's really how this is going to be. Well, for now, because he's getting rid of the trash, all the filler. And so I'm going to say that she had time to make more. Because, Deku just, since she saw her quirk and how it works, he wanted just to have some more fun. And, he still had time. He always has time. So I'm going to say that Momo ended up creating a bunch of spears. And she just starts throwing them at him. Spartan style. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. And I'm going to say Deku is moderately far away. So Deku is just jumping on them shots. Just running towards her. And then steps on her head. While he put his hands back in his pocket. Yeah, back of the neck. And, she's angry because, that ponytail. She liked it. She took pride in her ponytail. And he just stepped on that. That's mean. Why? He didn't knock her out yet. So she looks back. He's not there. And then she realizes that she's behind him. Deku walks closer. Yeah, and insert laser eyes behind her. Omayo motion Dayu. Sorry, Momo's gone. Then Deku is just, let Daddy wrap that up. And he's just traversing up the stairs. Not speeding, just walking. Keep on a trucking. And then he realized something. He forgot about the weird kid, the Navalaser. Because I'm gonna say that Navalaser was just Naddle. The Navalaser guy, I think, yeah. He was kind of in the scenes, waiting for when he was off guard. And he naval laser blasted him. I'm gonna say it actually hit. And Deku was just realizing how careless he was. He didn't notice him. And then Deku, he turns around because, he lived through that naval laser. Ayama's just kind of confused that he's not down, and he thought that'd work. Deku turns around, and he's like, he pulls a Buster Wolf. Nah. Slides across, Michael Jackson style. Punches him with a 2-piece. With that hit grab, that doom. And he's just spinning off. Not cratered, but he spins off and hits the floor. He's out. While Deku's just a little bit mad. And All Might is just surprised because he sees this on the screen on how he absolutely mutilated everyone. He knew he was gonna be this strong, but it's just absolutely brutal how he's 1-shotting everyone to 1 to 3-shotting everyone, and he doesn't really have to do more than that. I'm gonna say that. Yeah, he's going up the stair, and yeah, so. I'm gonna say I was a little bit too ahead of myself. There's not that many people in 1A. There's only gonna be 3 floors, and it's not gonna be like in Canon, how there's multiple floors and a lot of rooms. It's like each one was one big room, but and there's a lot of rubble from just the destruction. So yeah, it's like 3 big rooms. Because I'm not going to say it's Gamma. I'm just going to say there's another building like that. Because there's a lot of buildings in that city. The artificial city. And I'm going to say that, the plan was if they ended up getting through that line, that what I mean by line, the line of people who are on the 2nd floor, they thought that the Duplo Arms guy would hear him coming, if he did survive it. Because he's not like Hilua where you can't hear his footsteps. Yeah, so, he's still walking. Just keeps on a trucking. And Duplo hears him, and then he says now. The tape guy tries to get him stuck. And then Mina just swipes acid. She doesn't really have that dance moves acid yet. So she swipes acid at him. Deku is ready now since the Navalaser guy, he's not taking any chances. Eminem. Yeah, if you understand that reference, put that in the comments. But he's not taking any chances, and I don't know what. Yeah, and everyone else feels it now that they're in trouble, big trouble. Yeah, I'm sorry, because if you understand these references, then you're probably screaming and telling me to stop. But yeah, so they try to jump him. That doesn't really work because he time skips and moves the tape out of the way. And the proper physics and how tape would work doesn't really work that way. So that's gone. And then Mina's acid, I'm gonna say that he just swipes his hands over and over again, and that gets blown away. But not forwards, just like, I'm gonna say he goes toward the side because he doesn't want to spray everyone with acid. That would suck. Yeah, he blows that away. And then they're just like, what even happened? Because to them, it looked like everything was just repelled. Like if you were to have a force field. So then they just got just almighty pushed. It was a Shinra Tensei around him. They didn't know what was going on. And I'm going to say, she starts spamming that. And then, I think, the tape guy's name was Sero. He turns into Spider-Man, and, he's leading tape everywhere. And I'm going to say he goes out for a all-out office attack. And all the tape from him moving around, he takes that into a ball and, tries to get that on Deku. Because I'm just going to tell you, it is a lot. Because that dude can shoot a lot of tape out of his elbows. It's nasty. I wonder what that's made of. Yeah, that doesn't work. It just ends up getting stuck on the floor. It is tape. Even though that tape wasn't like sticky, it's still tape. And Deku's just not playing with that sticky. Yeah. So I'm gonna say he ends up finishing them. He just for the fact he's walking straight, and just for them it just looks like he's just pulling that acid. Plucks Mina in the forehead. Gone. Not really. He was expecting that to work, but it did hurt her. But she's not knocked out. And then just because he does it again, yeah, out. I'm lazy, okay? Sorry. I couldn't come up with anything else. Mina's out. Sero just gets 2-piece into the wall. Yeah, that's over. And here's where it's gonna get more interesting. The people on the last floor are more of the heavy hitters, with stronger quirks and better training. So I'm gonna say with all of that destruction and tape, what's her name? Uraraka. She's also trying to win because if they lose, they all don't pass this test, or they don't get a good grade for this. Deku gets an A. Deku gets an A plus for taking everyone out. He gets the extra credit. Yeah. So Deku, Deku is just surprised on how they were all working, together pretty well. For them just thinking that they were gonna win easily, but they still ended up formulating a pretty good plan. I just think that in his head only if they trained as much as me. Yeah, and so I'm gonna say that Uraraka, it ends up. I'm gonna say that tape, she's using that to cloud her movements, and that's messing with Deku's vision, right? I'm gonna say he ends up touching him. Try to get him stuck in the air so they could drop the time that way. Big mistake. See, now while Deku is stuck, he's bouncing through the walls. He's spamming time skip because he's filled with gravity. So I'm gonna say out of peer pressure and how fast he was moving, she got scared and she ended up making the mistake of undoing that. Well, not really a mistake. It's probably the best thing she could have done. If you saw a speeding mass bulleting everywhere, bouncing off the walls, he was going Gran Torino style, I'd probably undo that as soon as I could. A straight up speed demon. Yeah, so she undoes that, and then he for her, he is right in front of her, just diagonally, just not to strike her. And I'm gonna say he does like light taps on her head 3 times. For them, it really just looked like he barely hit her. And it really didn't do anything. So she's like, huh? And then she just has a bunch of tape around her, because Deku does kind of like Uraraka, not in a romantic way, but as friends, because Deku he's never really had any friends, because all of his life was really just training, because he thought he was useless any other way. I mean, he is smart, he's not stupid, he studies, but other than that, all he did was really train. There's no point in doing anything else to him. He's getting a satisfaction out of anything else besides training. Like a whole ass saying. Yeah, and so Deku sees her as a friend, so yeah, you don't bash your friends, do you? Yeah. So he ends up just tying her up, and while she's just confused. And I'm gonna say he finally gets up those stairs, like through the floor. They just kept knocking him back down those stairs to a second. He finally gets up. And now like from what he knows, these are the stronger ones over here. I'm gonna say Iida goes in first because he is the fastest besides Deku. So he goes in and tries to do like a scissor kick. Deku already saw him coming, so he's readied up. He has his palms toward his face and his hand up. And he says time skip. Flash fish crush. He goes back and then it's like think of it as a slow motion effect. It's doing that. And it speeds up really fast. And not Bakugo. Iida does his kick. That misses. He pulls back, forms his hand into a fist, and rip Iida's balls because he punched him straight there. He pulled a One Punch Man. He was like, I'm sorry, the wind from my punch, pulled your area towards my fist, and Iida's sitting there because he disrupted his scrotum. He can't do anything. He's hurt. Deku generally feels bad for him. And doesn't know what he can do, so he looks away in shame. I'm gonna say that everyone else was in the room and they saw, just Iida, holding his area on the floor, crying through his glasses. Why did you do that? Why would you do that? You're supposed to fight. You just hit me there. Why would you do that? Why, bro? What you said? Fuck my no square. He didn't really say that, but why would you do that? That was a dirty tactic. Under the belt shots, low blows. Only the worst of the worst and the lowest would do that. How could you? Yeah, Iida's talking his shit. Bakugo is just still in the back. He's still protecting the bomb because he knows that Deku could really disappear from anywhere if he wanted and touch that. He really could have just disregarded everyone and sped up there. I'm gonna say that Todoroki is just I'm gonna say that Todoroki is putting ice everywhere around. And then I'm gonna say Bakugo ends up staying in the same spot, or else he'll slip. And I'm gonna say Todoroki goes fourth. Enter the half and half. Oh yeah, and fuck the bug kid because he really can't do anything. I don't even know if he did anything in the series or took on any villains or played an actual part. Yeah, during this moment, while Todoroki starts to freeze everything, I'm gonna say that Deku gets a little bit annoyed for the first time in a while, because the only person he really would ever get annoyed at and really talk with was Bakugo, or interact with in general, because of how rowdy and stuff he was. Todoroki, actually talks. And he's like, you won't beat me as easily as you did the others. And, and then Deku just sits there in silence. And Todoroki is normally that's my thing. So why are you giving me the cold shoulder? No, he didn't say that. And so I'm gonna say that he shoots an ice spear. That does nothing. And then I'm gonna say that Deku says he hasn't used this against anyone, so let me try using it against you. And then he does the time skip clones. And they're just everywhere, like floating in the air and just on the floor, the ice. Like Deku's like walking perfectly through the ice because for timescape it just freezes that, so physics don't work how they normally would. So he keeps his grip mostly. Todoroki doesn't even know what to shoot at. He's shooting at everything. I'm gonna say Bakugo, he's still like watching the area around the bomb because he's thinking that the clones don't really matter because they're not moving or doing anything. Yeah, and so he's just doing that while Deku does, the invisible ki blast. It's not really, classified as a ki blast, but he does like the invisible blast, and it like knocks Todoroki off his feet. And he's just confused on what happened. He thought maybe he punched him, but then he's like, no, because if he punched me, it would be over. So, I'm gonna say that Todoroki, starts using his ice more defensively. He starts putting ice around him and trying to repel these blasts because Deku's like doing it in a pattern to just see how Todoroki would adapt. He's playing with his food. Yeah, and so I'm gonna say that that the clones disappeared and Deku was under him. So, but Todoroki is more capable, and he blasts ice under him like an ice pillar and tries to help that to get him up. And Deku busts through that. So Todoroki's just in the air with the half of the ice pillar, and he jumps off of that. And then I'm gonna say that Deku is like, why are you using half of your power? Yep, he's doing this early. Because I've noticed that you haven't used your fire side at all during the whole time, we've been in school. And then Todoroki's like, it's none of your business. And then Deku is like, I would say for effect, his eyes is glowing. Doesn't do anything, but his eyes are glowing purple. And, Todoroki sees this, he sends kind of a chill down his spine. And then Deku is like, it kind of pisses me off that I'm clearly stronger than you, but you're still, using half of your power. And I'm gonna say that Deku Deku starts spamming, and instead of actually punching him, the Deku's grappling him and throwing him up. He's refraining from hitting any vital area so he doesn't just knock him out. He's actually really dragging out the fight. And, All Might sees this, and he's just confused on, what he's doing, because he really is straight up bashing him, hurting him, and just giving him multiple bruises. Todoroki really can't defend against it. And Bakugo's sitting there watching this, knowing really he can't really do anything to help him. He doesn't really want to help him. It's Bakugo. Bakugo sucks. So Bakugo's still, protecting the bomb, doing his thing. Because he's waiting. He wants to get his own chance to fight Deku. Todoroki just jumped at it while everyone was going at him first. He wanted to save to him the best fight for last. And then Todoroki ends up just out of the fear. He does not want to get embarrassed. He ends up using his fire side this early. And I'm gonna say that, he used it around his body to keep Deku from getting close. And on the other half of his body, he was kind of using the ice as a shield to, kind of like how Kirishima hardens up to block attacks. Speaking of Kirishima, he gets out of his daze and realizes, he doesn't even know how long he was sitting there for, but he knows it was for a while. And that, he could have really just ended by this time, he could have ended up taking out everyone already while he was here doing nothing and being scared. I'm gonna say by this time, like, the balls fell off because Mineta got knocked out. I don't really know exactly how his quirk was or how his quirk works, but I'm gonna say if he gets knocked out, his quote-unquote balls lose effect. I'm sorry. So yeah, I'm gonna say he blitzes up. You know, like he gets that feeling in the anime that he couldn't really do anything in season 4, that he couldn't do anything and like he's weak. You know, he thinks he's gonna save everyone. Cause he thinks he can actually fight Deku, but he's running up there, and while Deku is just actually fighting Todoroki. It's a real fight. I'm gonna say that Todoroki, because adrenaline, he's shooting ice faster. Every time Deku would go one way and dodge the ice, he'd like put the fire around him, to secure him and zone him out. He's zoning, he's camping, he's cheating and that. Yeah, so he's zoning out Deku because he doesn't want him to get close and just deliver a fatal blow and finish him. So he's keeping him at bay while the time is running out. Well, not really, not close to running out, but time doesn't matter. I'm not even gonna talk about that anymore. And so Deku. And so I'm gonna say that Deku, whenever Todoroki just lobs a pillar at him, I'm gonna say that Deku decides to jump on it just like he did with Momo Spears and runs on it. It goes down. Pushes Todoroki up, kicks him up again. Not hitting any of his major areas. Hits him in the back, and then to Bakugo, it just looks like Deku teleported. He's ping ponging him. He kicks him. He uppercuts him, and I'm gonna say he's like upside down Todoroki. His head is lowered. I'm gonna say Deku elbows him straight in the forehead while he's upside down. He's just knocking him up, down, left, right. Knocks him again. Elbows him. Replays 3 different times. Yeah. Todoroki's out for the count. His quirk turns off. He's down. And I'm gonna say when that happened, Kirishima was able to get into the room because this has been going on. He's been dragging it out. Kirishima gets up and he sees how everyone's just on the floor. Rubble is like destroyed. Well, there's rubble everywhere. Iida is holding his balls. Yeah, even from the second floor, everyone got mutilated. And then he sees Araka tied up because you can't, when you tie up your opponent, you can't really you're not supposed to be able to move after you get tied up yet. Even though you could probably break that tape. Yeah, so Araka's not moving. She's just watching this in amazement. And, she's thinking she can't even compete with the people here, besides Deku, because she saw how Todoroki was fighting. And she was thinking if she were to be put in the same situation as Deku and had to fight multiple villains all alone, she doesn't really think she could do that. And she feels that she's weak and needs to catch up, earlier in the series, and then later, and I'm gonna do some things with that. And I'm gonna say that that Bakugo smiles. He knows it's his time to shine now. Bakugo has been training heavy since that day. He absolutely messed with him. Just messed with his mind. Yeah. And then Deku's gonna bring back some old tactics he's been doing. I'm gonna say that Bakugo's also really fast, has good reaction speed. I'm gonna say not as good as Deku's, but he's faster than Todoroki because he was already actually fast in canon. Yeah, so I'm gonna say he's uber fast, and he knows how to use his explosions better. As soon as he goes one way, he knows how to dodge even quicker with it instead of just floating around or has his arms are behind him. He can change the trajectory way faster and quicker in his head. So he's blasting around Deku, looking for an opening. Deku's standing there. Bakugo's screaming at him you think you're better than me, stupid nerd. Like, just because you know you have a quirk that can make you move fast, it doesn't mean that you're strong. You know, and Bakugo's just shouting at him. And Deku's like, watch your profanity. Yeah, and Deku was just like waiting for Bakugo to get in front of him. And he was just about to grab his arm. When then Bakugo knew he was going to try to do that. So as soon as he does that, he uses other one to, you know, explode Deku's arm. It actually hits. And it deals damage. And then I'm going to say that, you know, it's because Deku's stunned after that just a little bit. And he's just, like, amazed how he actually hit him. That Hisoka moment. Not you know, in that way. But, you know, he had it like that. And then Bakugo blasts him in the face as like a you know, it's like a stun maneuver. And then like during that time he was gonna but in that time he got back, but he put his gauntlets right in front of his face. And you know, and then he got one of his teeth. Well, he pulled one up to like towards his face. And pulled the pin out with his teeth and got the other one, and then after that blasted Deku away. He got another one like while Deku was on the floor. Not another one, but you know, he unpulled the other one because he was just building up sweat from this pinballing everywhere. He built up a massive amount of sweat from that, and he hit him point blank with one of them and sniped him with the other explosion. Like he's out. And you know, just for safe measures, he uses AP shot too. You know, and that just like, you know, he thinks he's down for the count and that he won. You know, All Might is about to call it, but then you know, then Deku is like, I'm behind you. You know, Bakugo's like, Nani? And he's confused on like, you're supposed to die, because you know, yeah, Bakugo screamed to die after he blasted him with the you know, the big blast out of his pens with his grenade blast. Yeah, and then you know, Deku starts getting closer, and then Bakugo does the howitzer impact, thinking that's gonna hit, but no, it doesn't. It doesn't do anything. You know, I'm gonna say that Deku starts doing like not Deku. I'm gonna say like Deku just starts to stand there. Like he stops. He doesn't even do that. Like he's just sitting there. And I'm gonna say that Bakugo is like, so you're not even gonna attack me? And he's thinking in his head that it's now his chance because he thinks, you know, he's getting cocky, and he's thinking that, you know, cloning technique won't work again. And you know, and then Deku decides to just, you know, stand there, and Bakugo is just rapidly shooting explosions at him point blank. He's trying to just do a flurry of explosions. He's just aura-ing explosions over and over again. But that's not doing anything, because you know, Deku has this purple glow around him. He's just sitting there. He did like the transparent technique. You know, he's absolutely just disrespecting him. Bakugo just keeps it up, even though it's not doing anything, thinking it'd work, and he's just angry and mad, and he's upset that Deku got this strong in just a fast amount of time, and he's not able to do anything against him. Virtually, he really can't even touch him or do damage. He's just sitting there. You know, and Bakugo starts to slow down. And I'm gonna say that, you know, Deku went for a punch, and he, you know, used the explosions to blast himself away and hit Deku. But really, it didn't. You know, and then, you know, Bakugo is just trying his hardest to defeat him. He's struggling, and then Deku says, "It's futile. You can't, and you know, everything you do, it won't affect me. I'm untouchable. Like, even with your explosions, you can't beat my time skip. My time skip is unbeatable." You know, Bakugo's still throwing explosions around, you know, just trying to look for an opening still. You know, there is no opening. You can't approach. Deku is Guile. Deku is Hit. Deku is the living embodiment of time. I'm sorry. Yeah, you can't approach him. So, you know, Bakugo, you know, keeps getting slower with his attacks. Because this has been going on for a while. It's a top 10 anime fights. See, yeah, you know, And then I'm gonna say, Bakugo goes in for that famous right hook. I'm gonna say he hasn't really been doing that in his childhood. Or, well, he does that, but, Deku didn't think he'd go in for that because he's been doing different stuff now. Yeah, I'm gonna say Deku grabs that, and he ends up punching him in his arm. Well, he grabs his arm and then he just punches it, just like he did back then. That sets off some Bakugo PTSD, and it just hits him with, like, his emotions, his pride, and that physically hurts. So his arm is broken. He didn't just like pull a joint out or like dislocate it. Nah, he really broke his arm. All Might is seeing how he's really dragging out this one just like he did with Todoroki. And like, Bakugo is hurt. He's broken. He is twisted. He can't do anything. Deku is virtually indestructible to him. He's untouchable. I'm gonna say Bakugo's crying, and he feels worthless, and how he can't even do anything against him. Now Deku could have been touched the bomb, but he's not. And then I'm gonna say, as one final ditch effort, he puts both of his hands together. Does a huge explosion, like bigger than the one that he did in the forest training arc when he was training and like putting his hands in boiling water and doing that. I'm gonna say it's like triple that. It's a huge one, and it takes out the whole wall in that building, and everything else was already like falling, and that takes out a whole wall. And, Bakugo. And then Bakugo does that, and for him, Deku just uses the transparent time tube transparent again. That just goes through him. I don't really know how that really worked, but I'm guessing, since I think it goes through ki, it should go through an explosion, I guess. Yeah, so that the explosions don't work. He's just crying. And then when the smoke clears, Bakugo gets caught by a spitting back fist straight to the jaw. That's broken too. Yeah, and he's not trying not to, hit him vitally. It looked like a dentist took a hammer and just smacked that thing. His jaw is like clean broken. All Might is like, that's enough. Deku's not stopping. And Deku's just like over him. And he tells him that he needs to get over himself. All you do is go blah, 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 and whine and bitch at everyone. He tells him, like, to shut up, because all he does is argue and start shit. And, like, he's all talk, but he never actually, can, get up to him. And whenever you were the strongest at that point, he was always so arrogant. And, like, he poured his heart out into it. And, Bakugo is just like, he's hearing this in and out, because first of all, he's in pain. He's blinking out. He can, like, partially hear him, but at the same time, he's going through memories of them. And he's seeing how every time, he would boast about being the strongest, and even when he first got his quirk, he was always so arrogant with it, because at one point he was stronger than Deku. His quirk started off stronger, but Deku poured his life into training, and he felt like he took what was given to him and really worked with it, while Bakugo was just being arrogant, and like he was given this godly quirk but didn't do all he could with it. And that's when when they were at the same level, the gap between them just expired. It got Thanos snapped. Expired was not the right word for that. So yeah, I'm gonna say that Deku puts him on his shoulder and just taps the bomb, and All Might is like, I guess, hero team wins, and in his head he's thinking that it was a mistake to make everyone go against Deku. He didn't realize that Deku would be that brutal, knowing him, even though he didn't really know him, because all he knew him was from just that garbage training. I'm not saying it's garbage, it was just, picking up trash, yeah. So, everyone is at Recovery Girl. You know, she's like, what is this? What is this? Who hurt all these children? You know, she's handing out free kisses like it's a stand or something. You know, like, and everyone's getting healed because they have stamina. Just Deku just ended him too quickly. So, yeah, you know, and they're all getting up. And Bakugo and Todoroki are hurt the most. But Bakugo sustained, you know, more injuries that take time to heal. Because this man's whole jaw is like broken. Imagine your jaw being broken. You know, and the gums connecting it are messed up too. So I'm gonna say, you know, Deku got in trouble for that. And, you know, I told him to stop. He didn't. So I'm gonna say, you know, I'm gonna say that Deku got some in-school suspension. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna say, you know, during that, while everyone is at Recovery Girl, I'm gonna say that All Might hold him to the side. You know, asked Deku, like, why did he do that? Like, see, he was brutal to everyone. Not really brutal. Yeah, he one-tapped everyone else, but whenever it got to, like, Todoroki and Bakugo, like, why was he hurting them so badly? Was it, like, to prove that you're the strongest or something? And he was like, yes and no. While Deku told All Might, you know, that they both needed to get over themselves. And, like, you know, because Todoroki didn't really tell him about, like, why he didn't use it. Because it was like Deku was rushing it. He didn't want him to talk. Yeah, and so, you know, because he's not really, you know, the talking type, I guess. Yeah, and he's telling him how they need to get over themselves. You know, Todoroki was only using half of his quirk or half of his power. And he was thinking that, you know, Todoroki saw himself above everyone, which he really did. And Bakugo did see himself above everyone and really wouldn't get over himself. You know, he didn't have that embodiment of a true hero, and he didn't really know what that meant. And, like, unlike everyone else, and, you know, Bakugo, how he was arrogant and everything. You know, All Might understands, but he still thinks it's extreme how he broke this man's whole jaw, ended this man's whole career. Yeah, so I'm gonna end it here. And next part is the sludge villain. I'm sorry this is so long. Promise next part won't be this long. This was very dragged on. I used a lot of the same things over and over again. But yeah, you know, 1 like equals 1 heal for Iida's balls. Yeah, sorry. You know, this is King Cryptic signing out. By the way, art, GD Zenkai, DeviantArt, check them out. Don't demonetize me, YouTube, please.